Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to share an 8.5 by 11 layout that I did just for the fun of it. I wanted to play along with some of my stencils and mists and get a little bit of my mixed media game on. And during our Secret Not Secret Kid Club party, there was a challenge, a foodie challenge, and I realized I had not done a food layout in a little while. And the 1st of August was the beginning of my holiday, and the tradition in my family to start off my holidays and some of our other holidays is to go to the Highland Games in Maxville, Ontario. So I go spend about 4 days. Chopin gets to spend some time with his girlfriend, Sophie, and we as a family get to go to the Highland Games. I document this pretty much every year, but I always try and find a little bit of a different twist. So this year I thought I would talk about the food treat that I have every year. Now, I got my Vicky Boutin stencils out, and as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, these stencils together with the Paige Taylor Evans ones are quickly becoming my favorites. All sorts of fun, different kind of shapes, easy to use. So I got this stencil out, and then in my last kit I got this lovely Altenew embossing paste. I can't wait to start using it, but before I start using it, I have to finish up this very old, this sort of texture paste that I had from Pibeo that I got at a little local art store, which is basically almost just 3 minutes away from me. It's more fine art, so that there isn't very much that I can buy for scrapbooking, but when I find something in the mixed media area, some of the watercolors and that kind of thing, I like to encourage her. So I've been using this up to try and get it finished up, and then lately what I've been doing to get some color, because I don't have that many dazzlers or pasties left, is I've been going into my re-inkers or into my shimmers mists. So this time I took Palm Reader, a Vibes Palm Reader, and mixed it until I got this lovely sort of olive green that matches my I can't even speak, my delicious mushy peas. So I mixed that all up, then I applied that to my background just in 2 rather large spots on this 8.5 by 11, and I just used some basic white cardstock, and then I used the Palm Reader and I just misted. And this I did not splatter or do droplets. I actually misted from quite a distance right on the page to give it a little interest. So, and the other thing I find when we're working this way and doing a little bit of mixed media, the page afterwards can be quite simple. So I cut a 1/4 inch off each side, backed it on some Stampin' Up! Paper that I had here, just with a little delicate pattern. And then I used a little bit of that same paper here, and then I went into 2 collections. I had My Mind's Eye Gingham Farm, which I've had for a little while. I bought at Scrapbook Nerd, and I hadn't used it yet. So I got a little bit of that out, and then just last week, my gorgeous indigo, pink paisley, indigo, and ivy collection arrived. My kit arrived. So I used a little bit of the 6 by 6 to basically just really layer up this photo. Just layer it up, and I think I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, the matte and a doily. So I got all of that layered up, and then I put it on foam and applied it right sort of a little off center here. This is a little bit my 1/3, 2/3, but to the right side of the page. So basically once that was there, very little needed to be done. So then I start looking, when I have that kind of thing done, then I start looking for holes or white space that needs to be filled. Some white space, like around here in the corners, is something that I like, and I find it makes the page breathe, but other little white spots I find need to be filled in. So that's what I did here. This die cut is from the Gingham Farm. I just cut it in two and put it right in these two little corners to fill in that little space. My little camera, one of my little Freckle Fawn cameras here. And then this little area here was sort of perfect for a title. And this title has been MacGyvered for sure. And just a simple title treat, because this is a photo of what is my little bit of a treat tradition when I go to the Highland Games. Every year I get some mushy peas. I love mushy peas. I don't make mushy peas, but I love mushy peas, so it's sort of my little bit of my yearly tradition when I go to the Highland Games. And then, of course, some true haddock fish and chips. Now, mushy peas have been a long-standing tradition at the Maxville Games. Fish and chips are now part of that tradition. Cheat day. So this was actually on Saturday, and the fish and chips have only been added to my tradition. I think they started offering them last year, and they are beautifully homemade in this lovely big truck. So hence this little sticker, homemade, because here was another little gap. So I figured I'd put this, the best day, which is chipboard from Gingham Farm. And then this little sticker also from Gingham Farm to just point at Dream Treat. And this here, these are some sparkly thickers that I have in my stash. And this is a 3, obviously, that I used upside down. Some 3s lend themselves better to making an E than others. This one maybe not so much, but I think your eye can see that what I'm trying to say is treat, and therefore that this must be an E. And this is a U that I used and just cut and tried to sort of mush together to make an R. So not the best, but I think you can see that it says treat. So filled in this little hole. And then I found that basically the page was quite lovely just the way it was. A little bit here to continue filling up this little space for my journaling. And then I thought just to add a little bit of fun and some whimsy to the page based on my lovely friend Sarah's class. I keep thinking about how to add some little whimsical touches here and there. And this stencil has these lovely little spots here which lend themselves perfectly to filling in with enamel dots. So I picked up the Gingham Farm enamel dot package, used a sort of mossy green, a little bit more of the olive green, and a sort of gray color, and just filled in all of these little centers to that stenciling. And there you have it. Just a fun page about food and a fun day. It'll be part of probably a small little mini series of 2 or 3 pages where I record this year's Highland Games. And then, as I mentioned in a previous one, what I often do when I have extra texture paste and stuff left is I prepare some added backgrounds. Now, in this particular case, my original thought was to do it on this sort of very light craft background. So I did this background first, but once I had it there, I found it was a little bit dull and drab. It just sort of melted in. It would have needed to be a much brighter green, I think, to pop a bit. So I'll have to dress up the centers here with some pops of color, but I'm still going to use this as a background at some point, so I have it on reserve. You know, some of those days are when you get back from work and you don't have a lot of time, you have a couple of backgrounds ready. And this, one of my recent videos, which was from Sarah Scraps Challenge during our Secret Not Secret July Kit Cup party, which was to use a very large element and then a very small. I had created this background for my layout. I had some of that texture paste that I had poured out, ready to go. So I just, there again, did myself another background. So I have those two ready to go. And then in my art journal, I still had some left. I went a little heavy-handed on preparing this lovely color. So I did myself a sort of background here in exactly the same way. And then with that lovely Paige Evans stencil that I used on my last layout, I did another one here. So that's kind of fun, and I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea, of things you can do when you've gone a little heavy-handed on putting out some of your mixed media on some packaging. So there you go. Thank you for joining me, and I will be back very, very soon with a lot of fun collaborations coming up this weekend, next week. So we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you for all your lovely comments and your support. I love reading your comments, and I love interacting with you. So I didn't have a question this time. So since this was the beginning of my holiday, and it is a tradition, do you have a tradition, a family activity, or something that you do that sort of always launches your holidays or your vacation? Talk to you soon. Bye.